States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note the presence of all 5 board members. Do we have agenda items to table, remove, or rearrange?
We do have K4E, which is a personnel item which will be removed, and N1, we have no supplements in finance this evening. And we ask on the regular agenda that we move item L and on the addendum item D to the end of the meeting because they both may require executive sessions, and then we can put those together. That's all right.
Yes, the superintendent is recommending that we amend the agenda as stipulated on the record. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second it. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have a motion on the minutes from February 10th? Mr. Nelson makes the motion, Mrs. King will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Delegations?
We have none.
Then next, we will conduct the annual meeting with Harrisville Elementary School Local School Improvement Council per West Virginia Code 18-5-14. Mrs. Snodgrass.
Nathaniel was our chair, so.
All right, Nathaniel.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're going to get ready to have our presentation, and I think you're going to see some wonderful things on this. Very happy to have my other members on the committee with us here tonight. Here's Ms. Stacy Smith, Mrs. Clark is here, Rosemary, and
Mara.
Mara.
I
She's one of our parents that come in and help. And then of course we also have Ms.
Could you please speak into
Kelsey.
the mic? Could you?
Oh,
Okay.
I can.
We are streaming on YouTube, so we need to make sure.
Oh,
the audio
okay,
is good.
sorry,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
And we have Miss Kelsey, Miss Clarissa here with us that work there. And I am the chair, as she said, and I'm very proud to be here tonight to represent Harrisville Elementary School. And like I said, I think you're going to find the what's in this program tonight. I think you're going to find it very well done. I think you're going to be very impressed with some of the data you're going to see tonight. It's not right.
Thank you for having us. I'm glad to be here because there's a lot of good things happening at Harrisville Elementary. Mr. Simons has already gone over our LSIC members this is the people that make up our team. We have Kathy Jones, Mara Cottrell, Mallory Oldacre, Rosemary Doss, Amy Yater, Barb Law, Nathaniel Simons, Stacy Smith, Michelle Clark, Donna Hiley, and Lindsay Moore. Our demographics, I find this quite interesting because our enrollment seems to be dropping, but we're only 5 students short from what we were last year. Our biggest classes are our 4th grade and then our kindergarten class. Preschool looks large, but you have to remember that's 3 and 4-year-olds combined. So our makeup, we're going to be losing a large number this year with our 4th grade students, but overall they're solid. I do walkthroughs because we're required to do walkthroughs. At the time that I put this slide together, the types of walkthroughs we do are cleanliness walkthroughs where I go through and I'm looking at the school, I'm looking at different things. I'm looking at is the glass clean, are the floors clean, are the hallways clear. I do this with the janitors, I do this by myself. I had completed 11 of those, and then the safety I do monthly, and the last walkthrough I did, I had the safety team come around and they saw things that I hadn't seen, so that's really good and very informative to be able to do. And then of course the classroom walkthroughs, I absolutely dearly love these because I get to be in the classroom and they're supposed to be short 5-minute things, but the teachers can tell you I'm usually in there a lot longer than 5 minutes, and when my 5 minutes is up, I'm like looking at the time, because I wanna get up and help, and I wanna get up and participate, so I enjoy those. If you look, they know when I come in. I had a fourth grader say to me the other day, she said, why don't you bring your iPad in here and sit down with it and work for a little bit and then get up? Okay, our attendance, I'm very proud of this. Our attendance for the 22-23 school year, if you look at it, we had 93.5% attendance, and we had 19.63 chronically absent. There's somebody at the door. Thank you, Lord. Sorry. And then we had similar numbers in the 23-24 school year, but this year, our percent attendance is similar, but if you look at our chronically absent, it's cut in half. I am so pleased with this. We have, our percent attendance is staying out even, but our chronically absent has been cut in half, and that is just phenomenal. There's lots of reasons for that. Okay, this is a lengthy list, but not all of them. We do monthly attendance baskets. Clarissa's very good at putting the baskets together. We do, during our 6 weeks awards, we do attendance awards. And that's a competitive thing. The kids, if they don't get it, they're like, why didn't I get it? They want to know. We have surprise attendance days every month. We send attendance letters to the family when they miss a certain amount of days. We send home newsletters that promote positive attendance. And then something new that we started this year is when at 6 weeks time, students get either a red or a green attendance letter saying, good job, keep up the good work, or let's work a little harder to help them with their attendance. Another new thing this year, and Mrs. Law was the one, I have to credit her for this, was we are also doing preschool attendance awards. So that's separate. They don't usually attend our award ceremony because it's a long time for little fellows to sit. But we go into the classroom, and if they haven't missed any days, they get an award, and they really like that. And then each week, the classroom with the highest attendance gets the gator for the week. That's very competitive too. Clarissa does a great job calling when a student is missing so that we can check on them and see what's going on. Another new thing that we've done this year is a daily attendance tracker where they actually color in the days that they're there. And then the QR codes, which is something that Mr. Clevenger started this year for if a student is absent. I had in our LSIC meeting when we were going over this presentation, one of the parents said how much they really appreciated that because it made it a whole lot easier to send in the note.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of those, which one do you believe is your top reason for the decrease in chronic absenteeism? What was the best thing you changed?
I think we know. I think it's the attendance award party or the attendance award.
The surprise attendance, they really look forward to the surprise attendance days. And how this works for the surprise attendance days, we have a calendar in the main hallway, and fourth graders, that's a big thing for fourth graders to get to do the morning announcements. And when they walk down the hallway with either Mrs. Haddix or Miss Lumble, they pull up the card for that day, and behind it, if it's surprise attendance day, it says it's a surprise attendance day. And they look forward to those days. They really do. And the surprise attendance day could be stickers for the day, or it could be done cupcakes. That's the recent one. Cookies.
And if I haven't done one in a while, they'll be like, is there one soon? When's it gonna be? Like, you haven't had one in a couple weeks. I'm like, well, it might be tomorrow. But I also just think consistency, like we've done some of these things throughout the years, and we keep adding more things as we go, on to what we've already done.
I have a question about when you call, do most people answer, or do they know it's from the school and they refuse to pick up the phone?
No, they answer, and a lot of times now they're calling us,
Oh,
or they'll let us
and
know
y'all.
now, before we have to call them.
Yeah, okay.
Any more questions? Okay. Our English language arts March academic goal is to improve academic success of the students in all courses of study through high quality instruction and personalized learning. 60% will meet the targets on summative assessments. I am really proud of the data, as Mr. Simon said. Okay, DIBELS is what we use for kindergarten, first and second grade. That's one of the markers that we use. And we have a composite score that we can look at, but there are certain sub-tests that we look at in DIBELS. For kindergarten, we're looking at phonemic awareness. Our students, when they started beginning year, were at 45% met the target. By mid-year, we're at 85%. That is huge. For first grade, our decoding is what we want to look at. 64%. They came in really high. And we have moved up to 76% by mid-year. For second grade is oral reading fluency, to be able to read fluently and the rate that they read. We were at 44% when they started, and we're now at 48%. So we have made gains in the DIBELS. Our I-ready reading is second, third, and fourth grade. And this, when I look at this, I say wow. Because we have, beginning of the year, we had 24% that were on grade level, on target, and 44% that were just a little bit below. If you look at that, by mid-year, we've doubled the amount that are tier 1. And our yellow has reduced, and our red, our tier 3 students, has reduced.
And as you guys know, as we discussed this, when you look at the tiers, it depends on, that's how, even if your sheet explains it to you, it tells you that is like, it's either universal support, they all get it, targeted support in level 2, and then really concentrated support in level 3. So that reflects how they perform on that reflects how we respond to
Yes.
the information that we're given.
Okay, and then we just got done taking for third and fourth grade the benchmark that's going to help us. It's a marker for the GSA that we take in the spring. And in that we had, for third grade, 54% of the students were at or near benchmark. And if you look across the board there, 79% had met mastery or were close in reading literary text. Reading informational text, we had 61% that were at or near benchmark. The same thing for fourth grade. I'm going to pause on the yellow for just a second. For fourth grade, 80% were at or near benchmark. And then when you break down into the subcategories, 87% were at or near for literary text, and 82% were at or near for informational text. The teachers hit the reading, or the writing and the language from now until May. They hit it very, very hard. And they use the top score writing, so I know those will go up. That's why that's in yellow. So I'm very pleased with that. We look at the actual scores. Our fourth grade is what's in the grayish blue. Those are our current fourth graders now. When they took this benchmark last year, at this time, only 24% of them met or exceeded the benchmark score. But when they took the GSA in May, we doubled that. 53% met or exceeded the benchmark. Okay, and then that same group, if you follow that same colored square over, this year when our fourth graders took it, we're at 39%. So I expect to see huge gains there too. In our third grade, this year we had 22% that were at benchmark, and then for fourth grade, the 41% and the 48% are current fifth grade now. And for ELA support, like Mrs. Hott was talking about, all of our students get core or tier 1, and we have our Amplified CKLA reading series, and then something that we do at our school too is every student is in a 95% group where they're getting reading instruction at their level. And then tier 2 is also a 95% group, but it's with Title I, and it's a little bit more specified. Tier 3 is another 95 program that we use. It's called 95 Rapid. It's more intense. Okay, literacy initiatives. Again, for tier 2 and tier 3, we have 95% group things. Title I intervention groups. We have the iReady teacher toolbox. Collaborative team meetings where we can actually talk, and I will add to the collaborative team meetings professional development. We just got done having professional development day, and if you look over here, can't really see a whole lot of it, but what I gave for my kindergarten, first and second grade teachers was a sheet with their students' names on it. And they had iReady, they had their Lexia, they had Dibbles, and they had Passy PSI, which is another marker. And they had to look at all of those things so they could have a snapshot and they could look at where all their students were, and then I had them write some goals and talk about and tell me their strengths and what they saw as their weaknesses. So not only the collaborative team meetings, but actual having time for professional development to actually look at that. The continued 95% support that we get, EPIC, top score writing. We have Ritchie County Public Library comes in once a month, and the kids absolutely love it. They have a library day. And then Lexia for students in grades kindergarten and first. Our math goal was very similar to our ELA goal. 60% of the students are going to meet the targets on summative assessment. And if you look at our iReady, this is kindergarten through fourth. When we started beginning of the year, only 11% were tier 1. We took it mid-year, 50% are in tier 1. And our numbers, I mean, that grew, all of them in the yellow and the red shrank, so I'm very pleased and very proud. And then when we look at our benchmark data that we just took, this is phenomenal. I am pleased with this. Our third grade had 78% that were at or near benchmark. And then measurement and data was 78%. Numbers and operations with base 10 fractions, 72%. And operations and algebraic thinking was 82%. When you look at our current fourth grade, we had 92% that were at or near benchmark. And the numbers go all the way across in the high 80s. Measurement data 85, numbers and operations and base 10 fractions 85, and operations and algebraic thinking 87%. So we are very strong in our math. And this is the actual students that met or exceeded. Last year, this is our current fourth grade that we have now. They were at 29%, but when they took the GSA, just like they did on the ELA, we almost doubled the amount that we had that met or exceeded. Usually you see a big drop, like right here, but we don't see that. They're at 54%, so they didn't have the summer slide. That's very good. Our current third grade, 57% were met or exceeded benchmark. And then again, on fourth grade, the 29 and 58 are ones that are current fifth grade as of now. And what we do for math tier supports, they have math across the curriculum. And what I mean by that is, when we did our collaboration meeting today, our Mr. Simons was in there, our Title I teachers were in there, our PE teacher was in there. We talked about things that they can do to help in the classroom, to help with classroom instruction, whether it's ELA or math, and we did discuss that today. And also teaching it in their science and social studies curriculum. The iReady Teacher Toolbox lessons. Our SAT team, and then also Title I interventions. Initiatives that we use, we do a lot of technology integration. In third and fourth grade, they do a lot of project-based learning. Like the picture right here, that's a city, but it's an array city. I don't know if you can notice that the windows are in arrays. So that when you start to teach multiplication, that's how they did that. The interim assessments, the math and power kits, 99 Math and Blooket are a lot of what they use. Okay. Activities that we do at our school, that's some they do at the other schools, some they don't. We have a very successful Veterans Day program. At the end of last year, when we were starting the reading that they get in the summer, we did a race into reading. We had a lot of local cars came from the Speedway, came over. And they had a Pinewood Derby. We had a literacy night this year that was pirate themed. We just got done having a talent show. We have a run club for our third and fourth grade students. We had our social studies fair. We did the school-wide farmers market. Our library day once a month. And we had Columbus State College came in with a Star Lab this year. Do you guys have any questions? I am very pleased. The scores guys saw the high school students in there. I talked to, Mrs. McBrayer. We're actually going to have some seniors come back next week and read Dr. Seuss books for, Read Across America Week, so I'm excited about that.
Right.
Any other questions?
I have a follow-up question. You mentioned cleanliness reviews
Yes.
that you do, and sometimes you say you do those with janitors and sometimes without. What is the result of that review? How does that information get disseminated or any changes made?
I do, email on Fridays before I leave the school, I mean, religiously, pretty much. And if there's information that I need for the staff to know, then that's when I would put it in there.
So you would put cleanliness report
If there's
information
something
out?
I need to say, or I would go to the janitors and let them know, hey, we've got this, yeah.
Do you believe that your school is cleaner as a result of those checks?
Yes.
My question was on the state rankings. I know you guys improved pretty well this last time, if I remember that right. Jumped up 20, I don't know how many it was. And looking at those numbers, I think it's gonna happen again, so.
I
That's
believe it
great.
will, yes. And it's not just the third and fourth grade teachers, the credit goes to every teacher there, because it starts in preschool and it builds.
Yeah, I think positive in your numbers are definitely the big jump in your kindergarten. And getting a solid base, because we all have, as we look at those numbers, we know there are certain things that if they don't have the fluency in the reading, they don't have the background in the base, you can't grow them. And I think that's, you're starting to see those results. And the question I asked earlier, I'm gonna re-ask you again, was, your math books. You like the new math series?
Yes, I do. I like how it relates it to a career or a profession, and I have seen the teachers use the extra materials in a very positive way.
I think your math numbers are really high.
Yes, they are, yes.
We've been seeing that with other schools, and of course, I've seen all of the reports, and they look good.
From the time that I started in Harrisville till now, ELA used to be our strong and math was our weakness. It's almost, math is stronger now than ELA is.
But they're both
Yeah, they're very
strong.
strong, yes, yes.
Yeah, very positive.
How much do you miss the modulars?
Do you miss your old buildings out back?
No, I'm very thankful for the one.
So yes, she thanks you for having this removed.
All right, well, thank you all very much. We have a full agenda that is next for us, but if you have other places that you need to be, now is your moment of escape. Or you may stay with us. We are welcome to have you as guests.
See you guys.
Thank you, God. Thank you. Oh, good to see you guys.
I'll let you know when next week.
Flying out. Did you see Turner's awful?
You give me another, not green.
Hey, these are amazing.
What did you do again?
Thank you.
What did you do again?
Walgreens. I'm gonna get the big bag, maybe. $9 a bag.
All right, up next on the agenda is the superintendent's report and academic updates.
So on the superintendent's report, as you see listed, you have a copy in front of you. The levy, Mrs. Wells has provided it for you, and it is the top part is the proposed levy rate timeline. We've already been in contact and have spoken to, Meredith Kuhn. And, we generally get our final numbers around March 3rd. So we have built this off of that so that you can see your portion of this and what you're involved in. As you can tell, in a lot of our departments, we run off of timelines because a lot of things we do have multiple steps to them, and this just keeps us compliant. So, at the end of the year, we look like our meeting state requirements. And down below, this is a tentative timeline for our budget. We have some challenges, as always with budgeting, and so it is a tentative, but we wanted to give you, and for sure, April 15th is our budget workshop, our preliminary opening, but letting you know we're in spring and it's numbers time. So I just wanted to let you see that. Next, I again provided you your calendar of events. It hasn't changed much from last week. I just took, believe it or not, February off, and we're moving along. So I just provided that to you as well. Next in your stack, there has, and I need to give you an update, this happened after the board agenda went out on Wednesday, and that is we missed school on Thursday. And so I have provided you a calendar. It looks like this. And it shows you the change. If you look down on this, it says 7th row on the left. Across there is now an OS day on the 20th. We moved an OS day from the end of the year to the 20th because that's what you have to do next. We used our NTI days, we used our equivalent time days, and so now we had to use one of our OS days. And if you look at the
For educational purposes, can you also elaborate on 2-hour delays and how those add up?
They do add up and they're part of, so you have so much equivalent time that you are allowed to use, and what adds into your equivalent time use is also any delays or early dismissals that you use. So you have to make sure that you have enough minutes in your day to cover those, as well as your PL days that you use. And that is encoded in the calendar. If you look at the bottom of this row, row 10, you will see the change, and that is the 29th is now a school day, and we've shifted, the prep day to the right, which is now Friday. The parent-teacher in lieu day would be Monday, and then the last OS day would be the 3rd. So now the last day for students would be the 29th, and of course the last day for teachers remains the same, but it just got shifted. There's that. I just wanted you guys to see that if you were asking any questions.
I got a question about the 2-hour delay.
Okay.
What if they totaled up to be more than we could cover?
Well, you hope they don't.
Right.
And in a year like this, it could have, because you had so many snow days.
Because you can.
And that's
For
what,
employees.
no, and what we've done is we don't use, you're allowed to use 5 PL days. We use 4 so that we can make sure that we have enough time to cover all of those in a bad snow year. And remember last year in the spring, I came and said, hey, can I add a 5th PL day? And I had to get our calendar adjusted. I kind of keep that day so that we are guaranteed that we have that. But employees do have to work within a 200-day calendar.
Right.
So it's
Could
ours,
they add
yeah,
another
no,
day to the
no,
minutes to-
no, you may not.
Right.
That is correct. So we play it cautious by making sure that we add that day at the end if we have an actual.
And how many years have you been working on the calendar?
Me?
Yourself? Yeah.
A long time.
I just think you're very well versed in the ability to maneuver that in the best interests of employees and students. And it shows.
And there's some things behind the scenes that you don't always know. Some of you do because you hear that, we've been going through a flu. One of the days last week when we had snow, but it wasn't crazy snow, had a lot of sick bus drivers. So there are times we have to make decisions that are best where we can get them to school. Today I had a driver that changed an appointment, so we didn't have to cancel a route. Our drivers have been wonderful to help us get kids to school and work with us. I tried very, very hard not to put them out on roads that aren't safe. Not hard, I don't put them out on roads that aren't safe. But it's a hard decision, and it's, as this job goes, that's one of my least favorite things to have to decide, because you don't want to be wrong. You don't want to be wrong on that one, so I appreciate everyone's patience. This is the worst one we've had in a while. And so we've had some challenges, but, it was, what, today, 50 degrees, and yay.
It's not just you making the decision.
Oh,
You
absolutely
reach
not.
out
Mr. Boone is out most mornings. My husband can verify at 4 o'clock in the morning when I get my first phone call. And sometimes he's clear over by Tori's house at 4 a.m. calling me from Innsboro. And we are also in communication with counties around us who, and we talk a lot to the state road. they'll let us know, hey, tonight we only have so many out, but if you wait and do this, we have this many out on the road, or we can make sure we get, so we have a whole group of people that it absolutely isn't my call. It's, the final one is, but it's my call with a lot of information from a lot of good people that have done that job a lot longer than I have. You know, if they have, and we've been fortunate to be able to rely on them, and they've made good calls this month. But hopefully we're past that, and we are moving on. But I wanted to let you know that there is a change in the calendar because of that, and we are just abiding by what it says. The next sheet that you have, earlier on, I told you we would not be changing the grading schedule, but once we missed that many days, we changed the grading schedule, the grading deadlines, and what is in yellow is what they've been changed to. That's been communicated with the principals and with all of the staff. It has a bigger impact at the middle school, high school than it does in the elementary schools because of getting their assignments in and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but they are still very balanced, and as I told you earlier, we do have more days in the spring anyway than we do in the fall. So I just wanted to let you know that we have adjusted the grading calendar. Also, you have a paper in front of you that we need you to complete for our auditors. I think Teresa, make sure that you each have one of those.
We need to turn them in ourselves, it says. Right?
Or you can give them to us and we'll scan it and send it to them. They
I
told
thought
us,
we did it as a group.
Yeah.
they told me that you each had to have
Okay,
one,
okay.
and so I gave you each one. Other things that I just kind of wanted to mention is a little bit about, we're ending the, winter sports season, and we have 3 wrestlers that will have an opportunity to compete at the state wrestling tournament. James Sanju finished first at the region, Braden Watson and Zayden, I don't know, I'm gonna kill his name, Cordiero, finished third. And we wish those, they aren't this weekend, but the next weekend, that they go to the state wrestling tournament, and we wish them well. They have represented us, at a very high level and will continue to. The girls' basketball team has a home game this Friday at 7 p.m. They play South Harrison, and that has started the tournament play. If they win, they play the winner of Doddridge and Braxton next Wednesday, March 5th at 7. And I believe it would be home also. And then a congratulations goes out to Coach Church and the Rebel Boys basketball team. And they were this weekend at the LKC Night of Champions playing for 3rd and 4th, and they beat Braxton in a really good game. It was a good game to watch. Enjoyed that. Big crowd out. Appreciated the support from the community. It was a nice evening and a good crowd. And so, because we're finishing up with some winter sports, I just wanted to kind of let you all know, because I know some of you, all of you, like to go to things. And so I'm just giving you a heads up that those are some activities that will be going on in the next couple of weeks. And I hope I told you right with the auditors, it said give you each one, so I did.
It's fine.
Okay, no. And that's all I have.
Comment on that. So, I think next year, or before the next winter cycle, you would be doing yourself and the board a favor by giving that great explanation of what goes into 2-hour delays and snow days, to get it fresh in our minds next year. There's a lot of flack that I'm sure all of us hear on, why do they wait so long to call school, or who decides this? A bunch of baloney. And I think April and Pat and them do a fantastic job of making their decision, and they're very careful on it, because we want kids in school and they need to be there and not just laying at the house for a maybe snow or whatever. So I think you do a fantastic job, but there's a lot of people that just don't understand what all goes into that, and definitely a refresher on that.
You
for the
stated it
next
well when you
winter
said
cycle.
a maybe snow. Some people act on a maybe snow.
Yeah, it is,
And it's
there's
hard to
a lot of
act.
subjectivity, of course, and then there's the pressure of, this county and this county did this, that all affects it. So, making people in a very transparent way understand what goes into the decision would be good for the school system, or just for parents. Cause if you're both working parents and you're mad that you don't know what to do and you have 3 elementary age school kids and you don't have a babysitter lined up and you don't get the phone call till 6 a.m. that school is canceled, it does aggravate you. But if you understand what goes into the decision, it helps.
And I think our goal is, like you just said, our goal is, number one, safety of students, and number two, keeping in mind that our goal is to educate kids.
Yeah.
And so, making a balance of that is difficult, but it is what we have in mind every time we make the decision, is to make sure that we provide the opportunity for an education, but get them there safely. So, all right, thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Director Report, Mrs. White.
On the agenda, I think it says that I'm supposed to talk about 3 things. Can you use the
One,
mic?
please. Thank you
Hear
so
me now?
much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one, you will see this paper that was laying beside your microphone. Can you hear me now?
You just turn it back on. You're fine.
Teresa? Let me just talk in yours. Okay, here we go. Beside your other papers, you will see our personnel projected timelines. And you will see in yellow some that have been updated. So we wanted to give those to you so you could see what we were following. Due to some things like Ms. Hod had said earlier, our projections for the levy that will come through in early March, some information received from the State Department on some employee issues received later, snow days, some things like that that we've had to change, but all of those dates we are still within timelines. We wanted to share those with you. Next on the agenda, I wanted to just bring up summer employment. You will see from past board meetings and then tonight that we've been hiring for our 2 summer academic learning camp and outdoor rec camp. And as of tonight, if those go through, we will just be missing 1 position, and we hope to get that hired soon. We will start registering students for those camps in April, and then depending on the amount of students that we get, if we have to make any adjustments in personnel. And lastly, professional development. Just wanted to update you, we've been talking about this is what we're working on. We have a Principals Academy scheduled for early June. Then we've been working on academic learning camp that will be within a 3-week period. We skip a week and then we have a couple weeks of outdoor learning camp. We have a teacher academy planned right after that at the end of July for 3 days. And then we get about 1 week and we're starting into fall professional development for teachers and starting all over again. Short and sweet. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have the consent agenda, and we have the consent agenda that's also on the addendum. Do you wanna do those in 2 separate motions or in one? Let's just do them all in one motion, considering J on the regular agenda and then A on the addendum.
I ask that you approve a memorandum with West Virginia Department of Education, Mountaineer Challenge Academy, as well as MB Transportation. We have a student from Louisville State University that wants to complete 20 hours of field service. And then we have Ritchie County High School, travel West Virginia, an out-of-state trip, they're going to Wheeling, as well as a baseball team that will travel out of state to go to Oklahoma. I ask that you approve those as listed on the agenda.
The superintendent is recommending that we approve the consent agenda as stipulated on the record. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion and Mr. Paul will second it. All those in favor
resignations, we have a resignation of Lindsay Dunlap, an English language arts reading specialist at Ritchie County Middle School. Ask that you accept that resignation.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have a resignation after publication.
Todd Jackson, assistant cross-country coach, Ritchie County High School Middle School, effective February 25th. I ask that you accept that resignation.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have appointments.
Under employments, we'll start with on the addendum, to approve an extension to the leave of absence according to our policy for an employee with FMLA as well as some intermittent FMLA, as stated on the record. And also hiring in professional, Anthony Rader as a substitute teacher, Adam Davis as a math teacher at Ritchie County Middle School, service personnel, Ethan Taylor as a substitute bus operator, and then in coaching, Rachel Parsons as the head volleyball coach at Ritchie County Middle School. Then summer programs, Marcia Knight, custodian at Harrisville Elementary, Holly Vaughn, site coordinator and a teacher at Smithville, and Paula Summers, teacher at Smithville. I ask that you approve those as stated on the record.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are going to not do L at this moment. So we will move to payment of bills in the amount of $384,269.91. Do we have a motion for approval of bills? Mr. Hall will make the motion. A second by Mrs. King. Is there any questions of bills? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and our financial requests are on the addendum.
And you have one financial request, for approve the transfers that you were provided, and also on the addendum to approve the request to bid for financial auditors. We are allowed to use a certified public accounting firm for a 3-year period. You have to bid that in the year, which is this year for 2025, because they'll audit it next year. So we have to put that bid out this spring. We ask that you approve that. And then we also need you to select and approve a board member to represent us and to help select that audit firm for the 3-year period.
All right, so let's first do a motion on approving a bid for the financial audits to be conducted by a CPA firm. We have a motion for C1 on the addendum. Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next, we have a request to choose a board member to serve on the audit selection committee to procure an audit firm for a 3-year period. I have currently served on it, so do we have a motion?
I move to support the superintendent's recommendation to ratify a suspension and terminate Richard Morrison's contract.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Reed. Do we have a second? Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alright, next we have agenda items for the next board meeting. Do we have any items to be added? Board member committee reports. Any committee reports? Yes.
I was at the, this is Jason, I was at the, oh boy, the West Virginia University WVU Extension Office Annual Board Meeting, at the 4-H grounds, and we went over the budget, gave reports on what they've been doing, have a nice little flyer on all their programs, and I was very pleased with Jessie now and her ability. She's a wonderful asset to our county from that program. And they saw that our contribution was $30,000 to their budget, and the Ritchie County Commission, right? That's that was about $100,000 of their budget, right? Woody Ireland asked for another $3,000 to be bumped up for training for ag stuff, so they were gonna get back for their, to get a little bit extra from them, but, that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much. Okay, and no other reports. Our next meeting will be held March 10th at 6 o'clock at the Ritchie County Board of Education office, and this time we will have an annual meeting with Creek Collins Elementary School Local School Improvement Council for West Virginia Code 18-5-14. Do we have a motion to